Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Rolled Already, the podcast dedicated to bettering role-playing and bettering gaming. I'm Daryl.
I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm John.
And welcome to Shop Talk. Today we'll be talking about procrastination. I'm going to set this one up a little bit. I'm a big...
You're guilty.
You're
guilty.
I am guilty.
Tried in the court and judge, jury, and execution, right there.
Yes. Lawful, neutral, judge, and judge scrupulously. I procrastinate a lot. There was a time that I was good at it in the beginning of my gaming career, but then I kind of got lazy, and now I don't even bother. And sometimes I find that I am preparing my sessions not the day before, not the day of.
Like 5 minutes before you walk out the door.
Yep.
No, like as you're talking.
As I'm talking.
You're thinking about like, oh, what next?
Right when then and there I say, okay, last we left off the heroes in my head, I'm like, crap. What am I doing? What am I gonna do? Okay, there's a Wookiee. We're playing D&D. There's a hairy bear monster that growls.
There's an owl bear. That's equivalent to Wookiee, right?
What? not too far off. Just replace the mouth with a peach and you're good. I'm a habitual procrastinator.
Yeah.
The only thing that like really saves me with my games is that I make really big open-ended games that I already have a lot of lore established. I already wrote up a lot of lore.
Yeah.
So I can really just kind of play off the cuff and like just let my players do what they want, and I react to my players.
Yeah, it's a plug and play kind of.
They just what they do kind of makes me make the story.
DMs with legacy games or legacy characters of some kind generally can do that a lot easier because it's just a pool to draw from.
Yeah.
I like to quote Eisenhower, General Eisenhower. Yeah. Plans are worthless, but planning is indispensable.
Yeah. Well, I think I think for my procrastination, I blame players because they are...
Oh yeah, sure. Blame the guy who's not running the game.
I run...
Who isn't the game system.
Yeah. The reason I blame players is because they do unexpected things and they can derail your entire plot line with a single action.
That's the biggest reason I run open-ended games for the especially like, well, why not just let them do it?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna do it. I might as well just like we're talking about with maps.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have a giant map so I can account for players. Just okay, you somehow traveled 100 miles in a day from some crazy spell or something. Then account for that. You're in land I didn't have time to prepare.
Well, that's why I either have the giant waste desert place that has nothing living in it, the frozen wastes of the north or south, depending where you're going, or the magical barrier that nobody can cross.
Magical barriers are bullshit.
They are.
Yeah.
Because there's going to always...
But if you make them look good enough, like the Aurora Borealis stretching across the land.
And it just says, "You shall not pass." Every time you walk to it.
Or it's like
or
cannot go beyond this point.
Or a maze that is designed to send you back to the very beginning each time, no matter where you go.
That's also bullshit.
That's annoying.
It's like you gotta. What's the like? First, this is off topic. What's the point in making a barrier like that? Really?
I don't know. I usually
because we procrastinated and we didn't develop the stuff that's beyond.
I can't let you go beyond this yet. You need to like stay here.
It's DLC. It's DLC.
Eventually, they get away over that, and you know what it is? It's a white void. It's just a white void. You're like, I didn't prepare.
It's got lines on it. It's kind of like...
It's polygon. It's like...
It's like...
Oh, I was going to say it has lines on it. It's kind of rough textured, like wood chips.
Take me on. It's like a music video from the
Or it was like rushly drawn. Kind of like what you did in your game yesterday. Like, here's the world!
Oh, yeah. Here's the
map, circle. And saw circles for stats.
I didn't know.
And lines for roads.
I didn't know, landmasses can naturally form circles.
Trails.
It's magic. It's magic. That's how you explain everything.
Draw a perfect circle freehand. That is your world. Mind blown.
But now you could say it wasn't kind of procrastination because my game setting is established. But if I was to do a game out the box, like a module, modules aren't all set up. You still have to put work into a module. They're not all complete.
You have to do the reading, you gotta prepare, you gotta make the encounters, you gotta make sure
that is something you actually have to study.
Then there's some modules leave gray areas and open areas for you to decide for creative differences.
Yeah, creative licensing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, to players, because a lot of players might not know a module, because I know there's players that never read the module. There's players who are only players.
That's a good thing, though. It's a good thing they don't read the module.
Yes, because then they're going to make the living crap out of it.
But, no, I mean, there's players who...
The rules lawyer.
They'll never know what module they're playing, though. But, I know players who I've never really read a module. Yeah, a lot of players, for you players out there who are strictly a career player and never game master, yeah, modules aren't complete. They are half written. The game master has to write the other half of that little tiny book. That little book he has, half of that.
It's hard to make like a very structured game because it takes a lot of time out of it. Even something as complicated structurally or conceptually as D&D, Pathfinder, 4th Ed, D&D Next, whatever. Most of those sword and sorcery crunchy games takes a lot of time to prepare and plan because there's a lot of numbers involved and a lot of calculations.
And players are the proverbial monkey wrench.
Yeah, and again, to quote Eisenhower, plans are worthless, but planning is indispensable. That is why I do procrastinate, but I don't procrastinate to the extent that I will absolutely forget my game. Like, I'll procrastinate actually writing it out, because very seldom I actually write it out, because I don't. It's all here for the most part, and since this is an established setting, I can draw off that. The only procrastination I do is in time it takes to read, because reading through a whole book is painful.
It is.
Especially when it's
when
the first half of the book is all
you,
fluff.
you got work and you got to hang out with friends and stuff. I mean, it's hard to sit down and read a giant tome of just for a game you're gonna run for.
Imagine reading the Oxford English Dictionary, the one that sits on the pedestal, that weighs about 40 pounds. It's all fluff.
And you gotta I gotta memorize all these numbers.
Yep, I can memorize all this.
Yeah.
To one thing that I have to say, it's easier to read the rules of a game, its mechanics, because that's
it's numbers, it's math.
It's math, but also on top of that,
you don't have to picture a setting either.
But yeah, but the point of it also is it's almost, you cannot play the game without the system, because that's how the system works, and this is how it rolls. This is what you do. You can make small tweaks here and there, but based on what you don't like or what you like or what you don't like. But
it's
when it comes down to settings, settings are easily thrown out.
Because you have to, if you're really going to use the setting, you have to paint the picture in your own mind.
I always homebrew settings.
And then you have to imagine a way to deliver said setting to everyone else's mind through speech.
Yeah.
Or puppeteering.
Actually, I will say...
Little sock puppets. I'm going to have little sock puppets.
I am a lore nerd. I am a lore hound. I love lore.
I love graphene, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, but also Faerun. I've read a lot of Faerun. I can actually run, that's a setting I don't have to throw out. I can run a Faerun campaign. I can run it really easily. I know the lore off the top of my head. I know all the matron houses of the Underdark. I know, all the masked lords of Waterdeep. But you give me a Dragonlance setting.
You're screwed.
I'm I never read the Dragonlance novels, and I'm not gonna, that takes a lot of work to read that stuff, because there's 30 years of crap for that series. I'm
Game of Thrones. Those books are thick.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn you, George R. R. Martin, and your damn obsession with wieners.
I've read those books.
And rape.
But there's settings though I can't do, because
How about
I'm a procrastinator.
Or it's just not interesting.
Or it's not interesting.
Because that's the hardest part of preparing and actually getting into it is it's got to be interesting to you.
But
it's also interesting to players. If players want to play it, but you're asked to run it, you got to be interested in it.
Well, there's games I've been wanting to play, but I've procrastinated. For instance, if you were to take EverQuest. I haven't played EverQuest in 10 years.
Never played at all.
You know how much I've missed in 10 years? You know if you don't play an MMO for 10 years, you've missed so much, and that's irreplaceable. Because a lot of that stuff gets deleted from the game and replaced with new stuff. You'll never be able to experience that. So much lore is that's 10 years worth of reading. I don't have that time. I'm that's where my procrastination comes. I'm not going to put in the effort to read 10
Nobody
years.
got time for that.
Okay,
that's a book that's 10 years long. It's become a book that's this thick. I don't have that time.
Let's change gears from the GM's kind of mentality to the players, because when talking about setting,
Yeah.
the setting actually ties into players as well, because a GM throws a setting down that is established and nobody wants to. Yeah, you don't want to read the last 50 years of history throughout the entire game. There's no way to do it. Or if you do, my hat would go off to you if I wanted to take it off.
It's not hugely detrimental for a player to procrastinate, however.
Well, the
only thing I can see a player's real responsibility for a game, the only real responsibility I see is making sure their character sheets are up to date, they've leveled if need be, they need to make any changes, they do so, and they're prepared for the game. As opposed to
me and Daryl were talking about player that showed up to the game, they don't even have their attributes written down.
Oh, that's just that's sloppy.
Yeah, that's just like
That's procrastinating.
like you just forgot like the most important.
Well, yeah.
Like besides your character's story, like in D&D, your attributes are everything. They decide all the other statistics.
But they managed to write 10 pages of backstory for you.
Oh, Kylie. It's like, I've got 30 pages of backstory. What setting is this?
Yeah.
Oh, God! And he even named his town. And like, you do know this is based in like a French Renaissance period.
No, but I went with an Eskimo Aztec culture. Like, does not fit anywhere near the setting at all. No, but
it's you know that saying about the square peg and the vertical mail slot.
Yeah.
Just not go.
Nope.
Or the square peg and the Cyclopean Cthulhu S shape. I mean this. But like favorite, like we're saying like an established setting. I actually hate when players will because as I've become a full-time almost dungeon master at this point, where I'm very rarely a player. I'm more running games.
I think the only game I see you in mine.
Yeah. But it's like I'm like either I'm a side dungeon master helping new dungeon masters play by like playing in their game. Like, here, this is what you need to do for roles and stuff. Yeah. Like I'm an off DM, like an off tank. But like for favorite,
you like rally off tank, yeah.
For instance, you were kind enough to like let me play a tiefling who's very drowish.
Yeah.
And it really hasn't been like. Maybe once, like, because we're going to Neverwinter.
Yeah, because like again, it's like I have up to level 5 starting area because I want to see the players.
But when we get to Neverwinter, maybe it'll change. But like most people view like it's a drow. Drow, like
your tiefling first, drow second.
That's true, and they would see the tiefling
motif. Which demons are okay. Dark elves though.
Well, tieflings are still a bit weary of, but drows are even more like. He's probably a villain.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of players never, like, they don't read the lore of the drow. They're just like, drow. They're just like an elf.
Yeah, they're just like Drizzt, you know?
Yeah, they're just an... But they might not even read Drizzt.
Don't even get me started.
They're just an elf, but with dark skin. Yeah. And then they'll play, and they don't realize, like, well, yeah, the Underdark slaves, or, you know, oh, yeah, you don't realize, like...
Lolth. You know, go to anywhere in the Feywild, you're going to be attacked.
Yeah. Like, knowing, like, normal, mannerisms.
Oh, like there's also, in case I'm getting out of D&D, you even told me when I pitched an idea for a Star Wars game for you to play in with me that I'm thinking about setting up, I said, you asked what era I said it, and I said, oh, well, it's this era. And you said, well, droids are illegal. And I like playing droids. And I said, well, I would allow it. It says, well, in the story, in the setting...
Yeah, hand-waving,
well,
like...
It is on the outside, it's on the fringe, though, where droids, you do see droids on the fringe.
Well, yeah, but war droids?
Yeah, war droids is...
That's the key, war droids.
Okay,
yeah. And
RDD2 is fine, but like, when you get like the... Hello, like, no.
Anyone's asking me what setting what I'm setting, I'm doing, it's a time period setting, it would be Star Wars, Clone War, pre-Rebellion.
Yeah.
Which is probably actually a fantastic era. There's no OP Jedi's running.
We'll be the ones to see Han Solo leave the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows, like, not a lot of people know that.
Yep. Alright, I think that's going to wrap this up for this episode. We'll be back shortly after with our little review.
Let's look at,
yes, leaving with Star Wars for another time. Thank you. I'm Daryl.
I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm John.
Have a good day.